on 1010XL 92.5 FM.
All right, we welcome you in. The new drug today was drama in March Madness. My goodness, what a Sunday afternoon. Frangie, Carline, and La Selva with you. Were you watching?
Oh, yeah.
Live? JJ, were you watching live?
I wasn't.
You weren't?
No, I was watching baseball.
I got to tell you, I mean, the damn recency bias. I'm the worst in the world. I own it and I admit to it. I don't know. It was Leitner. It was the Leitner shot. It had the same drama as the Leitner shot. It was like, for if you people that don't know, Braylon Mullins, the freshman who looks 12 from Uconn, hit a, what do you figure, 35, 38-footer?
Yeah.
From just inside the logo.
After they stole the pass with less than 10 seconds
after
left.
Duke turned the ball over inside of 10 seconds, they threw it to Alex Caravan, who I thought was going to shoot it, passed it back to the freshman Mullins, who drained it.
Yeah, it's a good thing that wasn't Xavier Lee. He'd have driven to the basket.
And passed.
Let all the time
and
run
passed.
out.
Yeah. But, I mean, it was one of the most incredible finishes. I mean, really.
Leitner, you saw Leitner coming because they're inbounding the ball.
Correct.
You knew they were going to get the shot. Like this was
That's right. I mean,
totally
there was nothing like it. And listen.
And UConn hadn't led the entire game, basically. Right. I mean, Duke had led. It was in dominant lead for a large chunk of the second half.
Yeah. I mean, Duke, look, I compared this. I got a buddy that's a Duke fan. We were talking, and I compared it a little bit to the Florida loss. The difference is Duke dominated. Florida got outplayed.
Right.
Florida
and played terribly.
Right. Florida almost stole it at the end, but Iowa outplayed them. Iowa deserved to beat them. Duke dominated this game. At one point, UConn was 1 of 18 from the arc.
Yeah.
They were at one point. They were 1 of 18,
and then hit what, like 4 of their
and
last
then they started making them. Yeah. So Demery made 2 or 3 in a row, and then Caravan made the long one, and then that's at least 4.
It was glorious.
But you enjoyed it.
Oh,
did
it was
you?
so great.
I thought, golly, what a. I mean, I just got to imagine. Remember now, Duke last year, they led Houston by 14 with 8 minutes to play.
And 9 with 2 minutes to play.
And 9 with 2 and lost the game. And then this one, oh my goodness. And I felt for the Caden Boozer, because obviously all you do is hold the ball.
Or just throw it in basically up as high into the air as you can.
Right. But if you just hold it.
But yeah, just hold it. You weren't going to get a 10-second. There was only 10 seconds on the clock.
Correct. So you just hold it. They got to foul you. Then at worst case is you make, you're up, you make 1 of 3, then they can only tie the game. It was, what a bizarre.
Or even if you don't, they still have to go the length of the court.
Right.
And I thought Iron Eagle
couldn't have been handled worse.
Yeah.
Iron Eagle was fantastic.
They all were.
It was a fantastic call.
Have you seen the video?
Yeah,
yes,
great.
yeah.
Of Raftery?
So
that's how I look.
Did you watch the whole second half?
Yeah.
So the first, you got to know Iron Eagle. You got to kind of know Iron. He's quirky and funny. So did you see the first time they showed Bill Murray? The first time they showed it, if you watched the whole half, you saw it.
Yeah, I mean, I remember them showing Bill Murray.
The first time they said right now Connecticut needs a new big toe. Did you hear that comment?
That's funny. I did not hear
that. And by the way, JJ, you know what he was referring to, right?
I don't.
Have you seen Stripes?
As a kid, but
you got to see
it's
Stripes.
not a movie that I know the reference to.
Anyway.
And Sergeant Holka is our big toe.
You are our big toe. So anyway, if you know Stripes, so he says they knew it needed a big toe. Well, Raftery laughs because he's seen it. Yeah. I don't know that Grant Hill's seen it.
Grant Hill probably has no idea.
So Raftery laughs. So anyways, it's this phenomenal call, and you could tell that Ian thought it was cool that Bill Murray was there. So it's and I thought he crushed the call. So I texted him about 30 minutes later, and told him how good he reached out back when the Riley Patterson San Diego Chargers kick came back from 20 he was real nice. So I texted him, and what a great how good I thought the call was. He goes, dude, I shook hands with Bill Murray. so I mean, even to Iron Eagle, that's a big deal getting to shake hands.
That would be a
Can you imagine?
Deal. Yeah, he's one of the funniest men to ever live. I think.
Dude, I just shook hands with Bill Murray. So anyway, it was a fabulous finish, and it was again heartbreaking for Duke. But that is what March Madness is. And listen, we went through it too. But we're as big a Gator fans as anything.
But it didn't compare to what Duke's going through today.
No, because
I mean, what Duke's going through today is a 10 out of 10 on the heartbreak scale.
A, because you're Duke. B, because it's been happening.
It's been a while since you've won it,
right?
Or played for it.
Yeah. And
so you've been kind of waiting.
Yeah,
and you've been very close the last few years.
And you led the whole game.
Whole game should have won. If it was a 7-game series, Duke wins in 5. But
correct.
They couldn't hold it. And yesterday when it mattered.
Oh my goodness, what a finish! And so a dramatic finish. And it really stole the weekend, by the way. They stole the weekend.
It's going to be
a lot of routes in the weekend.
I mean, my guess is when you get to New Year's Eve, in 8-9 months, and you're reflecting on moments of the year, that Uconn shot will be very high on the list for moments of the year.
Has to be.
Particularly if they go on to win it. Now, I don't think they're going to. I think probably Illinois is going to beat them, but they're super tough. And it wouldn't be the first time Uconn showed up at a Final Four as an afterthought and won the whole thing. Yeah. But even if they lose to Illinois Saturday night, what a moment! I mean, just what a shocker! And it was brilliant.
What'd you think of the Hurley show?
Yeah,
well, I mean, I respect him because I think if I was gonna ever trade Todd Golden for a coach, it would be him. And obviously, he's a complete. I mean, he acts like a complete maniac.
Yes.
Yeah.
But I mean, you can't
when
argue
he's your
it.
maniac. You
oh
love
yeah.
it.
Well,
I tell you what, last year, now Golden got out coached by this Iowa guy, McCollum, this year.
Yeah.
But last year, when they ran through to the national title, the only coach that I thought really got the best of Todd Golden was Hurley.
And that was early, right?
It was in the second round.
Yeah.
Now,
Round
Florida still won because Walter Clayton made some incredible shots, and Elijah Martin got a offensive rebound off a missed free throw that was huge.
Right.
But in terms of the game management, Hurley, I thought, was far better than Golden.
Well, and look, he's been there 8 years. He's got 2 natties and 3 Final Fours.
Pretty good.
3 Final Fours.
Then your one loss was to the national title.
Correct. That's the one time he didn't win it.
He's like 17-0 in games from the Sweet 16 and beyond in the last I think in his time at
he's
UConn.
17-3 in the tournament.
Crazy.
Wow.
Yeah, he's 17-3 in the tournament. I mean, so he's really good.
But to go head to head with a ref right after you took the lead, you're begging for it.
That is
wild. Begging for it.
Yeah, he's that guy.
Well, if that ref calls a technical there,
people are gonna crucify him.
Like that. Yeah. But it was. I mean, it was amazing. It was one of the. It's rare these days to see something in sports that the U.S. men's hockey team, that was amazing. So, when they beat Canada on the golden goal. I mean, and obviously this is totally different. You don't have the patriotism, with March Madness, but. I mean, this was...
Well, America cheers against Duke.
Well, good point. Yeah. So this was right there. I mean, in terms of just...
It really was.
Because I'm watching the whole time. I have UConn in our bracket in our 10-10 game.
Nice. Yeah.
So I was watching it with, pretty invested, but I never really thought UConn was going to come back. It was like they'd get it to 7, then it'd go back to 9. They'd get it to 7... and then go back to 10. And it was like, they're keeping me in this. They're not doing what Tennessee did, which is basically just lose by 30 and the game's over. Like, they're keeping me in. Not that I had Tennessee. I'm not that stupid. But, it was like, they're going to keep me in this only to, like, break my heart. And then sure enough, UConn got hot and Duke just chokes. I mean, it's a problem. Like, whether it's a John Shire problem, I don't know. But Duke has a choking problem.
When we get after the break, I'm going to get into that. I'm going to give you some thoughts on that, and I'm going to do it in just a bit. But that's the lead topic when we come back. But my take, my afternoon was, okay, so played golf on Saturday in really miserable windy weather because I'm stupid. Then yesterday, just Susanna and I did some stuff, knocked around, watched a little bit of the first game. That got out of hand really quick. Watched baseball because I'm an American. That's what we do. And then I started watching the game. Duke was blowing them. I turned the game off. I went and walked.
I bet a lot of people did.
I went and walked the dog, and my next door neighbor goes, "How's the Duke game going?" I said, "They're blowing them out. It's boring." So I came back, brought the dog back in, just turned it on just in case, and you kind of cut it to 7. Remember, that's when the first time they got it to 7, I said, "Okay." Well,
they got to 7. It felt like a few times. And then Duke would score.
Right, the first 7.
And then finally they made the run.
What you just said is exactly right. They got it to 7, then back to 9 and 11, then back to the first time they got it to 7 is when I turned it on. So I said, "Okay, well, I'm going to watch the rest of it." And you're watching it, and again, that's the worst loss is the one is the how did we lose game, not the one you get blown out of.
Right. If you're Tennessee today, you probably rolled right out of bed.
Yeah, it's the worst loss, and I'm telling you, when he missed, when it was only one, when the guy only made one of the good free throw shooter, 82% only made one, I thought it was over again. And they inbound the ball. And I will tell you, when they turned it over, you had a hunch then. I thought it was going to be Caravan. Remember, Caravan had made the 30-footer.
Right. And as their senior.
Yeah, he had made the 30-footer a possession or two earlier. I said, Caravan's going to. And when Caravan, but I'll tell you this, when he passed it to the 12-year-old kid.
Yeah.
And when you saw how he got it, I thought it was going in.
I did too.
The minute he
when
let it go.
Stuck his hip.
Yeah.
Because then you were like, okay, it's not going to be short.
Right.
Like he's got exactly the power that he's going to need for this.
The minute he let it go, I said, this is going in. Now, I said the same thing when the Vanderbilt guy shot from half court. Yeah. But when he let it go, I said, this is going in. And, I mean, you just felt like that.
And it's Uconn, who just seems to
own the tournament.
They're the opposite of Duke.
Yeah.
Like, Duke's a total choke artist program
UConn
right now.
Will get in as a 9 seed and get to the
UConn's dangerous until their final breath.
Yeah. Exactly right. So today on the program, we're going to talk about what happened. Are Duke chokers? What does it mean? How does it affect the sports landscape overall? A lot of Final Four talk. We'll talk about the 4 teams that are left. Don't forget, we got a Loser Monday coming up.
That's right.
Scoring Loser Monday. I went ahead and gave you Braylon Mullins. I gave him to you already.
Oh, I appreciate that.
So we will draft our
Love
players.
that kid. He's like a son to me.
I know he is. We'll draft our teams later on. But we'll talk a little bit about the Final Four, who's in and who's not. A lot of things to get to. First full week of baseball. We'll certainly talk about that coming up. I want to get a little bit of football talk. Aren't Travis Etienne and Alvin Kamara the same guy? And if why are they on the same team? I got a thought or two about that. I want to talk a little bit about some NFL placements of some guys. The NFL fill-in officials, I got a thought about that. Have you seen the story now where they may use fill-in officials?
I have. I've signed up Gene Fournette already.
Okay, good. He will do a fantastic job. A lot of stuff. Some college baseball to get to. I will say this. Boy, UNF looks good. Boy, they handed it to JU now. I mean, 3 games in a row.
It was like 27-12 combined score.
Yes, and UNF's 8-1 in the A-Sun.
Yeah.
I mean, they're off to a great start. So we'll start with we got a lot of things to talk about today on the program. We're going to be loaded up as we always are. I'm going to bring in my friend Brett Hastings at about 5:15, 5:20, just a sort of an abbreviated sports and course, not for long, because we weren't able to track him down on Friday when the stuff happened with Tiger, but I want to know the difference between if you won't blow and you won't do a urinalysis, and I don't know a lot about that. And what does Tiger possibly face? What's going to happen? So Brett will join us by phone just for a little bit at 5:15. But let's talk Final Four. Let's talk hoops after this on 1010XL and 92.5 FM.
The Frangie Show from the Harrell and Harrell studio. Don't settle for less than you deserve.
Hey, this is Russell Crowe, and you're listening to the best sports radio in the world, 1010XL Jacksonville Sports Radio.
1010XL, 92.5 FM.
When you buy online, you really cannot tell because you're not looking at the stone. So it's impossible to buy a stone online that you can really see everything about it. You have to buy a diamond in person.
That's John Lupo at Beard's Diamonds, who says one big mistake is trying to buy a diamond online. Because each diamond is unique, you need to examine it for yourself.
Otherwise, you can get fooled, you can get tricked, and that's not a good thing when you're spending thousands of dollars.
At Beard's, John's son Ben says they give each customer the ability to compare multiple diamonds in their price range. Not just on paper, but up close inside and outside.
Go outside in the natural daylight. That's the best test to be able to see the exact color in the stone, see the brilliance in the stone, and the fire and the scintillation, which is very, very important.
People want to know what they're spending this money on, and they also want to be protected.
That's why Beard's takes it a step farther with a money-back guarantee and a trade-up policy that guarantees you will always get what you paid when you upgrade. Buy with confidence at locally owned Beard's Diamonds in St. John's Town Center.
That's the buzzer. And on Hard Rock Bet, buzzer beaters mean bonus bets. Every time a team you bet to win or cover hits a game-winning buzzer beater, you score a $25 bonus bet. An extra $25 on top of your winnings. Just opt in and bet $5 on any team. As many teams as you want, all tourney. Win bonus bets at the buzzer. Only on Hard Rock Bet.
Payable in bonus bets, not a cash offer. Offered by the Seminole Tribe of Florida. Must be 21 plus and physically present in Florida to wager. Terms and conditions apply. Concerned about your gambling? Call or text 1-833-PLAY-WISE.
Balancing books and the grind of daily practice is what it takes to be a scholar athlete. Wednesdays on The Frangie Show, kept healthy by
Southeast Orthopedic Specialists
and the Plumbers and Pipefitters Local Union 234
on 1010XL.
My Gate Rewards members, this deal is just for you. Right now, grab any 2 12-ounce Red Bulls and get 2 of your favorite roller grill items for just $1. When you need a boost, Gates got you. See store for details.
Hello, Hello, First Coast. I'm sure by now you have seen our bright green GFL trucks and containers throughout the greater Jacksonville area. We're an industry leader in solid waste and would love the opportunity to earn your business. We're committed to customer service, reliability, and have an unwavering focus on safety. Whether commercial or construction, let us haul your waste away. Call 904-760-5880 to get a quote today from GFL, Green for Life.
Are you looking for a place to outfit your truck or van? It's Catlin Truck Accessories. For 105 years and 4 generations, Catlin is the name you can count on. This is Keith Catlin, and we know trucks and vans too, from Lear toppers, ladder racks, van shelving, strobe lighting, roll and lock bed covers, and everything in between. If you want quality products and great customer service, there's only one name. It's Catlin.
Who can you count on? Count on Catlin.
For 105 years, you can count on Catlin.
Attention men and women. If you'd like to get your hair back, then you need to listen to some of our clients. John in Orange Park.
IHRS showed me what was causing my hair loss and helped stop it.
Call IHRS now at 904-777-IHRS. Find out how to grow your hair back with a free hair and scalp examination. Diane from Ponte Vedra.
Now I have what lotions couldn't give me. Thick, beautiful hair.
Hurry and receive a free hair and scalp examination and get 2 weeks of laser treatments for free. Call IHRS at 904-777-4477. Hairforme.com.
Mark Watson here to tell you a little bit about hardballcreative.com. It's your online promo haven with thousands of ideas on how to promote your company. We're open 24/7, 365.
Hardball Creative. Hardball does it all.
Southeast Orthopedic Specialist is now offering ortho walk-in appointments. If you have an immediate need for orthopedic care, contact Southeast Orthopedic Specialist immediately. Avoid ERs and urgent care waiting rooms. For more information, go to se-ortho.com.
Relieve pain and get back to life. Southeast Orthopedic Specialists.
1010XL, presented by Farah and Farah, exclusive injury law firm of the Jacksonville Jaguars. Focused, fueled, fearless, Farah.
Cut and run through the ball, and who better than this guy?
Get it into Boozer, back for Sarr, ahead, Boozer, that ball deflected and stolen by Mullins. Caravan, 2 seconds, Mullins tosses it out. Ah! It's good! We're pulling 3! Uconn goes in front!
The call by Ian Eagle.
It's a Best Bet Monday on The Frangie Show with fantastic locations in Jacksonville, Orange Park, and St. Augustine. It's Best Bet.
I'm new at this, JJ. You got to walk me through it, okay? JJ says I've only done it this way about 700 times. It's not bad. Ian Eagle on the call with CBS and does a fantastic job. What a finish to the ball game. And it was really, really enjoyable. And you're right, Raftery was great. Grant was great. And the video of Raftery was fantastic. You see Jay Billis's quote tweet on it?
Yeah.
Yeah, he says, that's how Raftery looks every time he hears last call at the local bar.
Oh, my God.
By the way, Raftery's 82. God bless him. He's still good.
Absolutely.
He's still sharp. He still sounds great. I mean, God bless Bill Raftery. 82 years old. Isn't that awesome?
It is awesome. It shows you age is just a number.
That's exactly right. It's exactly right. All right. So here's my take on the Duke choking thing. I think Shire's a good coach. I don't think he coaches them to play tight. I don't think he makes necessarily bad decisions, but it has become rampant. Here's what I will tell you, Hayes, and this isn't the entire reason, and this isn't all of it, but I said this last year, and I said it in the offseason, and I'll say it again. In this day and age, the better teams are playing with older players. The better teams are playing with 22 and 23-year-old players who have seen everything. Last year at the Final Four, 3 of those teams, Florida, Auburn, and Houston, had older players. They had players that had been at other programs. They had transfers. They had 22 and 23-year-old guys. Duke was the young team, and it showed at the end of that Houston game when Duke made some inexplicably bad decisions in San Antonio. I thought the same thing yesterday. Caden Boozer's a young player. The truth is there's not a true point guard on that team. They're having to move guys. Caleb Foster played it, but he's not a true point guard. So a veteran point guard who's had the ball in his hands for 3 or 4 years or 5 years, wherever it is doesn't make that mistake. I believe that in all my heart. It does not make that mistake. There's a reason Iowa went as far as it did, because Brendan Sturtz is fantastic and has played in 7 trillion basketball games. Iowa wasn't very good overall, but they had a great point guard, and they hung around with Illinois for a while after beating Florida, and beating Nebraska. So I think it's more than just the age thing, but part of being good at a sport is not always being the youngest guy on the floor or the youngest guy on the field. And way too many times, Duke has had to put a really young team out there. I saw Calipari. I saw it happen to Kentucky a bunch. When Kentucky started not winning during all those Cal years, hey, just because everybody else was playing 3rd or 4th year seniors who weren't good enough, 3rd or 4th year players, sometimes 4th and 5th year seniors who weren't good enough to play in the NBA. And Cal had all these lottery picks, which is great until it's crunch time and you have to have a guy that's made plays. I think a gigantic part of the Duke choking, if that's what you want to call it, is the young players. I think that's a gigantic part of it.
Yeah, and I think it's easy to draw the line from Calipari's Kentucky to Duke.
Yeah,
it's
same guys.
It's literally like, now going basically one title in the last 15 years, I would say, and that was Kentucky's title, and I think it was 13, or maybe it was 12,
right,
somewhere in there. It's been a while ago now, but that's really the last time that you can say that a national champion was led by freshmen. Now, there's still some outstanding freshmen left in this Final Four. You got like Koa Pete at Arizona, but Arizona has a veteran team.
2 senior
him.
guards.
Right.
They start 2 senior
right.
guards.
So, it's not to say you can't have any true freshmen, but when it's the majority of your, key guys, then I do think you have to, wonder about how they're going to fare when the lights are brightest in the Elite Eight and the Final Four. And you just look at the talent, look at the Kentucky talent that Calipari went through in his last 8 years on campus that didn't win anything of consequence. And, didn't win a national title. That's probably unfair to say they didn't win anything of consequence, but didn't win a national title. And you now look at the talent that Duke has had over the last few years in terms of the players that have come through that program and have gone on to obviously show what they can do at the NBA level. And Duke hasn't played for the title, let alone won it. I don't think Duke's played for the title in like a decade.
Right.
So I do think that you can, draw a clear indicator from that while it is important to certainly recruit as well as you can, if you end up with a starting 5 that is, and particularly if your top 2 or 3 guys are true freshmen, history tells you will not win at all, because eventually you will run into the savvy team that maybe not has the traits, but knows how to play the collegiate game at a higher level and knows how to play with poise and in big moments and has that scar tissue. They've maybe have made those mistakes earlier in their career and know what you can and can't get away with. So, yeah, I think it's, if you were to tell me right now Todd Golden could sign 15 5-star players over the next 4 years, I wouldn't take it, because I don't think that's how you win. It's great. You'd be good. You'd be guaranteeing yourself that you're good, you're in the running, but history tells you, recent history tells you that is not how you go about winning a Final Four. You might need 1 or 2 of those guys, but to your point, you need the 22-year-old that has seen it all and is a little bit of a late bloomer. And that's who is winning the national title. And my guess is when we get to a week from tomorrow and we're talking about the national championship game and the national champion, we will be talking about veterans that led the way, not true freshmen.
Michigan's best player played in junior college for 2 years, played at UAB for 3 years. He's in his 6th year of competitive basketball. That's you've seen everything,
and he's dominating,
and he's dominating the sport. When Florida won last year, again, I made this point. It drew the ire of some Gator fans because they thought I wasn't giving the team credit. When Florida won last year, they had Walter Clayton, who was a senior who had played at both Iona and Florida. They had Will Richard, who was a senior, who had played at both Belmont and Florida. They had Elijah Martin, who was a senior, who had played at both FAU and gone to a Final Four in Florida. They had Ruben Chinyelu, who had played at Washington State and Florida. They had Micah Handlogton, who had played at Marshall and Florida. They had a bunch of guys that had played a bunch of basketball. The Condon and Houck were young players, but that was it. And when you win, so again, I think that's part of it with Duke. I really do. I know they have good players. I don't think Shire's a bad coach. I think he's a good coach. But if you're going to put your trust in these young players, maybe Duke's well served to go get themselves that fifth-year transfer who's really good at Eastern Kentucky. You know, maybe you got to go get that guy. And so I think that was a big part of it. Beyond that, back to Hurley for a second. I think he's a pain in the ass, but he's a good coach. They play hard. They play with an intensity. They have as much – I don't think they're – from a standpoint of talent, I don't think they're that good. Terrace Reed's a good player. I don't think he's a great player. He's their inside guy. Demery's a good shooter. But he's not a great player. Alex Caravan's been a really good college player, but he's not playing any basketball after this year, or he wouldn't still be there as a senior. So I don't know. But I will say this: there is something to winning culture. One thing he said after when he was interviewed right after the game by Tracy Wolfson, I think it was. He said, "Look," he said, "there is something to winning to being in winning programs." He said Gino did it, talking about the women's program. He said Coach Calhoun did it. He said Kevin Ollie kept it going for a while. He said, when you come here, it's Alabama football. It really is. When you come here, you expect to win and you play better because of that brand. I think there's something to that. I think Duke's like that, by the way. They just don't finish the job. But boy, UConn, look, I had them losing to Michigan State 3 nights ago. So what do I know? But there is something about the way they play, Hayes. And so you said it before the break. They're the ultimate finishing team going against Duke, who's the very, very, very good team, who's the ultimate non-finishing team. So that I think that's why they got there. The other game will be interesting. Illinois caught a little bit of a break. They were a 3 seed that had the 1 and the 2 taken out before they ever had to play them. Iowa took out Florida, and UConn has taken out Duke. So they're not. So they have missed the 2. They've missed the 1. They've missed the 2 1 seeds they could wind up playing. Okay, they beat the 2 seed, but they missed the 2 1 seeds they could have wound up playing. Both Duke and Florida were eliminated. To their credit, they beat the 2 seed in Houston. You know, so.
Although I still can't understand why Houston didn't have more of a fan base.
I agree. It didn't feel like. I'll say this about Illinois. Boy, they're big now. I mean, they're the tallest team in the country. One of the things that I'm lamenting, being the angry fan that I tend to be, one of the things I lamented is, man, I would have loved to have seen Florida play those guys. That would have been, you talk about bigs on bigs.
They scrimmaged before the year, and Florida won by like 10 or 11.
Yeah, by 12.
Now, it was in Gainesville.
It was in Orlando, I think. It was in Orlando, yeah. And Flan didn't play in that game, and I think Stojakovic didn't play in that game. I know Flan didn't play. Maybe it's why Florida won. But I would have loved to have seen all those bigs. Wouldn't you have loved to have seen all bigs on bigs?
Any of these matchups. Because if you substitute Florida for, and yes, Illinois is got them as well, and it would have been a fantastic Elite 8 game had they played. But, I mean, that's the thing. Like, I'd have loved to have seen Florida's front court go up against Michigan's. We obviously saw it in the opener against Arizona, and that was an incredible battle that Arizona won. But Florida has no one but themselves to blame. I mean, you can't play the worst game of the season in the tournament and expect to advance. And, Iowa showed that they're better than maybe what, you thought when they beat Florida. They turned around, beat Nebraska. But I mean, that's on Florida. Like,
totally agree.
I mean,
that's right. But Illinois, they play the 7'2" European center until he gets in foul trouble. Then they bring in his twin brother, the other 7. How about that? His twin brother.
I'm looking through these names right now. It's like Yugoslavia.
I want to say Illinois gets like 65% of their production is international.
Yeah.
I think CBS put that graphic up.
Ivisic brothers.
Yeah.
And then you got Peja's son, and then you got
He's actually American, but
who's good, the 6'9" guy, number 0, Milicic. Is it Milicic?
Yeah, Mikovic.
Yeah. So I mean, they have a good team.
Yeah, they deserve credit. It's what we've seen with Todd Golden and the Gators. You know, emphasizing international recruiting.
And is that where the game's going? I think we are headed. McDonald's All-Americans are great, and if and they've got one of those too in Wagler, who's a really good player. But if you can go get now with NIL
the
money,
Belgrade All-Americans are good too.
Right, yeah. Well, good. Well said. If you go get NIL money, now you can pay them more than they're making in Europe. See, a lot of times these guys never make it to college basketball in America because they go through high school in Europe, then they get paid to play right out of high school. They get paid in an A, B, or C level league in Europe. And then they wind up in the NBA if they're good enough.
Even before they leave high school.
Right.
And I mean, they're playing.
That's correct.
Guys like Luka were playing for Real Madrid when they were like 16 years old.
Correct. And he was at the A level, right?
Yeah.
But they play. But there's all
academies. They all the teams have academies for the younger kids.
Right. But the truth is, now with all the NIL money here, you're better off just to get over here, make more money, and now you understand the NBA game because you're around it. And so I wonder if that's where it's going. I really get it's hard not to wonder if that's where it's going, right?
Well, I mean, again, I think you look at any of these rosters and you're going to see some international presence.
Right.
And again, it's a big reason. Yes, Walter Clayton Jr., Will Richard, Elijah Martin, fantastic. But, you know, does Florida do what they've done the last 2 years, which is, again, I know Florida fans are still disappointed, but in the last basically 12 months, you've won an SEC tournament, a national championship, and an SEC regular season title.
And been a 1 seed twice.
For the first time in program history. You don't do that without Alex Condon and Ruben Chinelu and Urban Klabsar. It doesn't happen.
Correct.
So, I mean,
100% correct.
that is kind of a new frontier in terms of college basketball recruiting that if the best and brightest coaches can tap into. I think you've got a chance to really put together something special. And again, if you haven't watched a lot of college basketball, what you're getting ready to see Saturday night is such a treat because Arizona, Michigan is going to be one of the best national semifinals that we've seen this century.
Yeah, it should, the whole reseeding thing, it probably should be the championship game. But back to your point one more time about the foreign players, and I'll go to break. Make no mistake about this. In this incredible 2-year run for Florida, Walter Clayton is the most important player. Alex Condon's next because he's been there for 2 years. He is by far their best inside player. Now, Thomas Houck really came on and became a versatile 3. But as far as importance for these last 2 years, other than Walter Clayton Jr., the most important guy came from Australia, to your point. So there's no question about that. We'll take a break. More in a moment. This is 1010XL and 92.5 FM.
It's the ride home with the Frangie Show from the Harrell and Harrell studio. Don't settle for less than you deserve.
Live streaming from the XL Digital Studios. Brightened by Harbor Dental Care, Jacksonville's first choice for dental emergencies.
Stop letting high-interest debt weigh you down. Pay it all off in days with Loan Pronto's Rapid Equity Loan. It's a completely hassle-free way to cash out your home equity with no appraisals, no paperwork, no waiting. Loan Pronto's Rapid Equity Loan uses AI-driven technology to get you approved for cash in as little as 1 day with a rate that's at a 3-year loan. One client got $100,000 approved in under 24 hours, wiped out all their credit cards, started a home improvement project, and cut their monthly expenses by $1,500. Call Loan Pronto now and see how much cash you can get. No hard credit pull up front. Imagine, this time next week, you could be credit card debt-free. Loan Pronto, A-rated by the BBB, with nearly 2,800 5-star Google reviews. Call 904-999-1508 or go to loanpronto.com. That's 999-1508 or loanpronto.com. Equal housing lender, NMLS 1661781 on approved credit, NMLS consumeraccess.org.
So, you finally have some time to yourself. Even if it is just the car ride home, it's you time. And look at you. Do not disturb set before you even got in the car? Impressive. You've earned this moment to just chill and drive. This break is brought to you by Target Zero and the Florida Department of Transportation.
Hey, Jacksonville, I'm sure by now you've seen our bright green GFL trucks and containers throughout the greater Jacksonville area. We are an industry leader in solid waste and would love the opportunity to earn your business. We are committed to customer service, reliability, and have unwavering focus on safety. Whether commercial or construction, let us haul your waste away. Call 904-760-5880 to get a quote today. GFL, green for life.
Post-game Monday on 1010XL is served up by Dandy Foods, making quality fresh sandwiches since 1956.
Rick Ballou for Coy Dental. That's right, Carlson Dental is now Coy Dental. Dr. Lee has been practicing there for 9 years, has purchased the company. The Coy Dental team still has the same great dentists and staff. And remember, if you get nervous visiting a dentist, don't. There's never a problem at Coy Dental with light sedation for cleaning and deep sedation for all your restorative needs. Coy Dental, located in Bartram Park.
You may not be able to control the air you breathe on the outside, but you certainly can on the inside of your home. Just call Florida Home AC and ask about the Remy Halo. It's the next generation of air quality technology. Call 777-4300 for Florida Home AC.
Hey, it's Matt Hayes. Tell me if this is you, because it's definitely me. I go to bed thinking, tomorrow morning, I'm going to wake up early, jump in that ice bath I just bought, have a good breakfast, go for a morning walk, and order a veggie for my side instead of fries. Then the morning arrives. I press snooze, skip everything else I planned because I'll do it tomorrow. But that's the Awaken 180 difference. Tomorrow is today. It's so easy. You want to do it. Your coach will be there to help you do it. You won't want to let her down. Accountability, ease, feeling great. That's the Awaken 180 difference. Now you can download an app, Google a weight loss plan, or buy the latest gadget. But who actually helps you follow through when you couldn't do it before? I lost 40 pounds with Awaken 180, and it was easy. No meds. I couldn't lose 5 pounds in a month on my own. Awaken 180 works, and it continues to work because it's set up to not let you fail. Succeed like we did at awaken180weightloss.com.
XL, presented by Farah and Farah, exclusive injury law firm of the Jacksonville Jaguars. Still present, ready. Farah doesn't flinch.
It's a Best Bet Monday on The Frangie Show with fantastic locations in Jacksonville, Orange Park, and St. Augustine. It's Best Bet.
We sure thank our friends at the Best Bet. They do a great job. Now, this week at Best Bet Jacksonville, don't miss the $140 no-limit hold'em satellites into the $100,000 guarantee. That's this week at Best Bet Jacksonville. Now, there's 3 locations. The Jacksonville location's on Monument Road, Best Bet St. Augustine on just off of I-95, and, of course, Best Bet Orange Park, US 17. And the big stuff going on at Jacksonville this week, so head in there. You'll be awfully glad you did. Michigan in the Final Four. My goodness. How many can you name of the Fab Five? How many you got? How many can you name? Run them off.
Chris Webber, Juwan Howard, Jalen Rose, Jimmy King.
Wow.
And
how about that?
Boy, I'm going to kick myself.
Yes, that's pretty good, though.
Oh, I can see the guy,
too. That's pretty. Look at you. I tell you what, though, Jimmy King, I didn't think I thought you'd get the 3.
Give me the 5th so I can.
Ray Jackson, but that was really good. Yeah. Would you have known him, JJ?
I knew King, and I only knew his last name.
Okay.
Jackson, I wouldn't have got.
Okay, that's pretty good, though.
Loved that team as a kid.
They were great.
I mean, loved that team as a kid.
Yeah, that was remembered.
I loved Michigan, and I loved UNLV. I mean, that was so. I mean, to be a young basketball fan.
Yeah, the '90 team.
Both teams are cool, like the long pants, baggy pants, stuff.
And the way they played. I mean, it was just they did stuff.
How many can you name of the '90 running Rebs? Can you name them all?
Larry Johnson, Stacey Augmon, Greg Anthony.
Yep. Who's the MVP of the tournament? MVP of the tournament. Haven't gotten him yet. Made everything, hadn't made a shot since. Anderson Hunt.
Remember that? And then the big guy was.
They alternated a bunch of different ones.
Yeah.
But Anderson Hunt was this great shooter. I mean, great shooter. And Greg Anthony was just a guy. Greg Anthony plays all those years in the NBA, and Anderson Hunt never made it. Remember that?
Yeah.
So they were a fun team. So it's going to be fun to watch. What do you think about Dusty May? Isn't it great what he's done?
What a story.
I mean, what a good coach. I mean,
Mike White disciple, and has done unbelievable things.
Went to FAU and got him to the Final Four. I mean, no one's talking about Dusty May because the other guys are everyone knows Shire and Hurley gets all the headlines, right? And Brad Underwood's a good story. He's 62 years old. He was a junior college coach forever, and he's kind of this year's the basketball Signetti. You know, he's the older guy that finally got there and is grateful, and you know, so he's that guy. But Dusty May, he might be the next big thing.
Absolutely.
I mean, he might be the next big thing. Apparently has already said no to North Carolina. Is that correct?
I saw something like that, yeah. But yeah, I mean, he's again, to me, that's why I wouldn't leave Michigan if you have it rolling. It doesn't seem like to me. I mean, Michigan has a great basketball program. It may not be North Carolina, but to me, it's A versus A plus.
Right.
I mean,
I
you know,
agree.
so I would think with the resources that, you know, the Big Ten, that's what's really been interesting in this is seeing the Big Ten separate themselves in the NIL era, that it's clear the Big Ten has money that the SEC does not have, which is impressive. I mean, the SEC is clearly second in
Right.
terms of spending,
Right.
but it seems like the Big Ten has a pretty significant advantage. Dusty May even sort of hinted at that at, I think, his press conference prior to the regional final, but he's a magnificent coach. And, you know,
they're not going anywhere.
No,
By the way, he
no,
took
no,
over the job. They had single-digit wins the year before he took over.
Yeah.
Realize that? And in 3 years, he's got him there. So he's a really good coach.
and they were in the Sweet 16 last year.
Yeah, that's exactly right. So they've been very good. Where's Duke headed? Same old. Will Duke change what they do, in your opinion? Should they?
I think they should. And again, that doesn't mean like don't ever take another 5-star. I mean, sign a couple 5-stars, you know, but litter that with guys that are, you know, can legally drink and have been playing college basketball for, you know, a few years and have some, you know, savvy to their games and some moxie. But I think you almost have to look at it now just because I think the comparison to Calipari at Kentucky is so apt. And I think Shire is probably a better X's and O's guy than Calipari
Yeah, I
is.
think he's a pretty good coach.
But
I really do.
But you now can't get away from why can they just not hold a lead? I mean, if Duke could hold a lead, they'd have won their last 55 games.
Hayes,
I mean, no one has just beaten Duke in 2 years. Like the games they lose, they're up huge in and just can't close them out.
This year, they're 35-3. All 3 losses, they had a 10-point lead at one point in the game. All 3 losses.
Wow.
All 3 losses. They've lost 3 games by a total of 5 points. 2 of the 3 on a last-second shot. I mean, they're 35-3. They had a 10-point lead in all 3 losses at some point. They have lost all 3 games by a total of 5 points, and that includes 2 of the 3 on last-second shots. So they have this unbelievably good team. They lost a dramatic game against North Carolina when North Carolina stormed the court. They lost this one, and I don't know who the other loss was to. It was not in the league, you know, because they were 17-1 in the league. So it was just, I mean, they've had this amazing season, and they're going to be playing golf on Saturday. Pretty amazing stuff.
But the Thursday to start the tournament, or I guess it was the Friday, nobody saw Duke making it this far. When they were struggling
how did the
with
Siena thing happen?
Yeah.
I still don't know how that happened. How did they play 20 minutes of basketball against Siena and be down 11 at half?
Against 5 guys.
And again, to me, that speaks to, it's not closing a game out, but it definitely speaks to immaturity and that they weren't ready.
They didn't take it serious.
And would a veteran team have allowed that to happen? Probably not.
Well, that was my take to start. That's exactly right. My buddy Barry Milligan sent me this. Thank you, Barry. In there, how about this? Their last 4 losses in the NCAA tournament. They lost the round of 32 to Tennessee in 23 when they lost by 13. Lost by in 24 they led by 9 and lost to NC State in the Elite 8.
That was the guy. Remember that? That was that Burns kid.
Yeah, right.
Yeah, he was hilarious.
Everybody loves him.
Last year they lost to Houston. They led by 14. Like to your point, by 9 with 2 to play. And this year
to Kelvin Sampson.
So they lost by 19.
By the way, the only other loss that you were looking for this season was a 1-point loss against Texas Tech.
Okay, so
before they lost their star player.
North Carolina beats them at the buzzer. Uconn beats them at the buzzer. Texas Tech beat them by 1 with Toppin.
in Madison Square Garden.
And they won the other 35, and they're out. Amazing stuff. Hayes has headlines after this. Stay with us.
The Frangie Show from the Harold and Harold studio. Don't settle for less than you deserve.
We got a great show for you today.
Join the 1010XL Podcast Network.
A big show.
Now you can find all your favorite 1010XL podcasts in your platform of choice.
A king-size show.
Liberty Landscape Supply is sponsoring Whiteout Cancer Night with the Jacksonville Icemen, Friday, April 3rd. Wear your Iceman gear in store and grab free game tickets while supplies last. Bring your ticket back with any $25 purchase and get a free 1-gallon plant. Liberty Landscape Supply has been making outdoor projects simple in Jacksonville for nearly 20 years. Find one of the 4 area locations at libertylandscapesupply.com.
This is Hayes Carlyon for Harold and Harold. I was at lunch with my good friend Holt, and he was telling me that sometimes a lawyer can get more from a case than their own client. I was surprised to hear this, but Holt said that doesn't happen with Harold and Harold. They'll never take a fee that is greater than their own client. When they say they treat their clients as a person and not a file, they mean it. Hopefully you won't need them, but if you're ever injured, call Harold and Harold at 904-251-1111. That's 904-251-1111.
Give us your hot take.
Pop quiz, hot shot.
On the 1010XL text line, designed by Lifetime Enclosures.
You know what I'm saying? Well, I'm awake and I speak English, so yeah, I do know what you're saying.
Be part of the conversation. 641-1010.
Hey, Jacksonville, David Garrard here. If you want a street-legal golf cart that's built with quality and style, check out Dynamic Drives and Designs in Jax Beach. They have new, used, and fully customized carts from the top brands like Atlas, Dodge, and Pilot Car. Every cart gets a complete expert inspection, so you know it's ready to hit the road. Their team can help you design the perfect custom cart that fits your style and needs. For your custom golf cart, visit dynamicdrivesdesign.com today and see your perfect ride.
Yo, ET here. And you know that on the field preparation wins championships, right? Well, the same goes for your health. Right here in my side of town in Fleming Island, Encore Research Group is helping locals take charge through cutting-edge research studies. Everything from weight loss to diabetes and hypertension. Their team of local, multi-specialty doctors is focused on advancing medicine and keeping our community healthy. If you want to see if you qualify, check them out at EncoreDocs.com.
Checkmate. I'm Brendan Cecilia, founder of Checkmate Coatings.
And I'm Chester, Checkmate's mascot and brand ambassador.
Why do you even talk in these ads?
People see me on the trucks, Brendan, so they expect to hear from me as well.
But I have over a decade's experience personally installing high-quality polymer floors right here in Jacksonville.
Well, I'm a professional mascot, riding around on the side of your trucks, smiling at passers-by.
Then could you at least tell people about our 2-stage polymer application process? Give your garage the finishing touch with a gorgeous floor that's guaranteed to last?
A bit busy posing for selfies, I'm afraid.
Years of experience?
Check. Adorable mascot?
Check. The team you need to make your garage gorgeous? Checkmate!
Transforming your floors, making them great. Checkmate.
Visit checkmatecoatings.com. That's checkmatecoatings.com.
Pickett here. Restore comfort and confidence with oculoplastic specialist Mary Kate Wilson, MD, at the Eye Associates, Jacksonville's expert in oculofacial plastic and reconstructive care. Dr. Wilson specializes in eyelid surgery, cosmetic and reconstructive procedures, and treatments, always with a personalized approach. Now seeing patients at the Beaches, Southside, and St. John's locations. To schedule your consultation with Dr. Wilson, call the Eye Associates, formerly Bowden Associates, Schneider Eye and Wellness Center, and Janet A. Betchkel, MD, at 296-0098.
1010XL, presented by Farah and Farah, exclusive injury law firm of the Jacksonville Jaguars. When it's game time, Farah doesn't flinch.
Ladies and gentlemen, may I have your attention, please? Gather round.
It's Hayes' Headlines, presented by Harold and Harold. Don't settle for less than you deserve. Hear all about it. Here's Hayes Carline.
All right, welcome back to the Frangie Show. Frank Frangie is here, as is JJ LaSelva. I am Hayes Carline. Thank you to our friends at Harold and Harold. Give them a call at 251-1111. They will take great care of you. Frank, let's start with college basketball. The Final Four is set for Saturday night in Indianapolis. Uconn versus Illinois and Michigan versus Arizona. That's 2 1s, a 2, and a 3. and should set up a spectacular weekend of college basketball.
4 really good teams. There's no Cinderella in this thing. I mean, this is 4 really good teams that earned their way there, that are playing the best basketball of the year. Yeah, I think Duke's one of the 2 or 3 best teams, and they're not there. I think Florida is one of the, 5 or 6, 7 best teams, and they're not there. That's probably the 2 big upsets of the tournament. But it's a good field now. I mean, it'll be, I'll tell you this, I don't have a strong opinion on who's going to win either one of those games. I mean, I really don't. I think,
it seems like 2 coin flips.
Yeah, I'd pick Illinois and Michigan today. I think it's going to be an all Big Ten final, but I wouldn't bet much money on it. I think it's 2 really good games, and boy, the second game is going to be magnificent.
Absolutely. Let's take a look at those Elite 8 matchups. We'll start with Uconn stunning Duke 73-72 on a long 3-pointer from Braylon Mullins with 0.4 seconds left to win the East region. Duke blew another huge lead, failing to hold a 15-point lead over the Huskies. The Blue Devils also choked away a huge lead late against Houston in the national semifinal last year. But what a credit to Uconn and the Huskies. Probably the most mentally tough program in America.
Yeah, no question. They deserved it. You got to make the shot to win it. They overcame a 1 for 18 start from behind the arc and started making them. But look, when you lose, we had to talk about this. It's a young team. And when you lose one you should have won, you probably make a mistake. I mean, when Florida lost to Iowa, when I don't know if they should have won, they got outplayed, but they were up 3. They had a turnover. They broke down defensively. They had another turnover. I mean, the reality is Duke made a turnover at the worst possible moment. That's what happened. They made a turnover at the worst possible moment. And then, when you leave a team in play, Hayes, where a Hail Mary's in play, you might lose to the Hail Mary. But I agree with you. Congratulations to Uconn, 2 really good teams.
Illinois beats Iowa in convincing fashion, 71-59 to take the South region. The Illini, outscored the Hawkeyes 43-27 in the second half.
Yeah, and also say this too. Illinois too is physical. They're great offensively. They're in Ken Palm, I think they're 5th or 6th offensively, certainly top 10. Their problem over the course of the season was they didn't defend. So, and they've caught a little bit of a break by playing Houston and Iowa. They're playing teams that aren't great offensively. They're defensive-minded teams. They didn't have to play Florida, and now they're not going to have to play Duke. So the question will be, can they get enough stops when they play a very good offensive team? But I think they're better than UConn. I mean, UConn's there. I think Illinois got the better of the 2 teams.
Arizona impressive in winning the West region, defeating Purdue 79-64. Another game in which it got really out of hand in the second half. The Boilermakers led at halftime. Yeah. But the Wildcats, 48-26 in the second half over Purdue. Boy, Arizona's got a club.
Purdue outplayed them in that first half, too. I mean, it didn't just lead. It was I was very impressed, but Arizona's very good. You said it the other day or the other week that maybe Arizona's got the best team. They may have it. Again, I'll make this argument. Look, the 4 teams that are there are the ones that deserve to be there. If you ask me the 4 best teams, I might throw Duke into it. But for the most part, this is kind of close to the 4 best teams, so it's going to be a great Final Four.
And the team that is absolutely just killing everybody, Michigan, destroys Tennessee 95-62, and it wasn't that close. The Wolverines utilized a 21-0 run in the first half to end any threat. The Vols lost in the Elite 8 for the 3rd consecutive season and still have yet to reach a Final Four.
They have never been to the Final Four, and so I'll give them credit. I had them advancing for a point. They probably played better than their numbers, Hayes. They probably weren't an elite team, an Elite 8 team, and they got to it. So Rick Barnes did a good job of that group.
Now I've got a bone to pick with
ready.
My guy Rick Pitino.
Okay.
Because this is the only game that we're gonna talk about that occurred before the weekend. Yeah. This game occurred Friday night. So St. John's loses to Duke 80-75. Did you guys watch this game?
The end of it.
So in the first half, Pitino puts in this guy who looks like Sideshow Bob from The Simpsons. His name is Ruben Prey, and he's the goofiest basketball player you'll ever watch. In fact, for about 2 minutes, I thought it was like a Will Ferrell movie until I saw Ruben Prey actually play, and he was magnificent. His energy was incredible. He's hitting threes. He's like 7'2", hitting threes. Rick Pitino doesn't play Ruben Prey in the second half in the loss. Prey hit all 4 threes in 13 minutes of action, and never saw the floor in the final 12 minutes of this game. I could not believe it.
I don't know the team and I don't know the player. I guess I didn't watch this close. I thought that is odd. You have a guy make 4 threes and don't play him. That is weird.
Very strange, but
That's
there
really
you go.
weird. Really
Let's get to the PGA Tour. Gary Woodland with one of the greatest comeback stories in sports in recent years, winning the Houston Open by 5 strokes at 21 under. The 2019 U.S. Open champion endured brain surgery nearly 3 years ago and talked about his traumatic struggles at the Players just a few weeks ago. Woodland earned $1.7 million with the win and qualified for next week's Masters.
I went back and watched the Jeff Darlington feature on him. Did you see that?
When it came out.
Yeah, and I did not remember it when it came out, Hayes, but they everybody retweeted it after he won. Man, oh man, what a challenge. Brain surgery. Before he went to brain surgery, he wrote a letter to his 3 children and his wife and said, don't open it unless, and if I don't make it, open these letters. Can you imagine? I can't imagine the trauma of that. And it still affects him a little bit. There's still some recovery. But Gary Woodland, that was a great win. That was exciting for a lot of reasons, and it was a great story.
And only just 2 weeks ago at the Players, he came out and said he's having issues with PTSD ever since then. So it's been a struggle for years. Bro.
Yeah, it was really emotional watching it.
Oh, yeah.
And watching the feature when he talked about he'd wake up with these nightmares because of one area of the brain that gives you confidence and security wasn't working. I mean,
crazy.
The brain's a complex thing. No, it really is, and it was crazy.
Absolutely. Let's get to Major League Baseball. The Atlanta Braves take 2 of 3 from the Royals. How are we feeling, JJ?
Great. I mean, Saturday night was a fun game. They didn't score the entire game until the bottom of the 9th. Hit a walk-off grand slam. It was awesome. First time the Braves had a 2 games over 500 record in like a year and a half or something. Yeah.
How about that?
Long time.
I saw there's like 5 teams that are still undefeated.
Marlins among them.
The Marlins.
How about
Well,
the
they
Marlins?
played the Rockies.
They're still undefeated.
They got a lot of young talent.
They haven't been 3-0 in a long time.
They almost won 80 games last year.
Is Skeen, you guys play at like 6:40 tonight. Is Skeens going tonight?
No, not till Wednesday.
Wednesday.
Skeens goes Wednesday. But hey, look, Pirates are 1-2, 2 extra inning games. On the road against the Mets, I'm all right with that.
Yeah. The local kid,
Hunter
Barco came in extra innings and looked really good. He ended up losing the game, but I think they kept him in a little too long.
He made one bad pitch. He threw
He got
slider.
out of a bases loaded, no out jam before that.
Yeah, he did, and with a great play, made a great play. Then he threw a slider. It really was out of the strike zone, but Lewis Robert,
who's good.
The whole Mets team is good.
Yeah, they are.
And he went, they're all right. 1-2 on the road against a really good team. 2 extra inning games. We're okay, Hayes.
Yeah,
we're okay.
Good.
You didn't ask, but I wanted to share it with you anyway. Okay, we're okay.
That makes me feel better.
Okay, good.
Let's get to college baseball. The Gators sweep number 4 Arkansas in Fayetteville. The first time this century UF has notched a road sweep over a top 4 team. Florida is now 23-6 overall and 6-3 in the SEC.
How about that? And the story Jeff Cardozo told us, and you and I were texting about it a little bit yesterday. So Florida goes and they sweep South Carolina. They get swept at Alabama and get no hit, and they're not playing very well. And Cardozo pretty much said, without saying it, Sully, who's always been chippy, red-ass, fiery guy, is kind of was the calmer, nicer Sully until then. And he said Sully realized he needs to go back to being Sully. Since then, they shut out 10th-ranked Florida State here, 5-0. And then they sweep 4th-ranked Arkansas on the road, 4 straight wins against top 10 teams, all away from their stadium. So baseball's funny, isn't it? But I watched a lot of these games. I mean, they were really good. They were really good against Arkansas. They really were.
Interesting. How about UNF? The Ospreys, really hot right now. Earnest sweep at JU, outscoring the Dolphins by a combined score of 27-12. UNF now 8-1 in A-Sun play.
There's something special there. I mean, Joe Mercadante is a really good coach. I hate that I'm saying this already. Nick Morrow is going to yell at me if he's listening. Nick,
I hope you're
not
going down this road.
I hope you're not listening. Nick, turn the radio off if you're listening. Just do me a favor and turn the radio off. But I think Joe's good enough. I won't even say it. But we're going to be, in a year or two, we're going to be having that conversation. I just think we're going to be having that conversation. I just think that, this is a guy that played at Florida, was an assistant at FSU, has been all around, or Miami. So anyway, we'll see. You know what? I'm done. I'm not even going to say it. But let me just say this. He's a really good coach. Look, Jay's got a good program, too. And UNF went in there and just handled them 3 games in a row. So, and it's maybe a special year for UNF. You're 8-1 in the league.
Yeah.
You know, you got to, I mean, this might be an NCAA tournament year.
Because the first two series were Stetson and Gulf Coast, right?
Yeah. Who were
so, I mean, all three of these series, they're 8-1 against
three teams,
really good teams
they're
historically.
They're 8-1 against three teams that within the last 10 years have all been in the NCAA tournament. You realize that? That's three teams that have all been to the NCAA. Remember when Logan Gilbert was at Stetson? Nobody touched it. You know, so this is three teams that have been to the NCAA tournament in the last 10 years, and UNF's 8-1.
Very impressive. We will get you out with today's musical nugget of the day as we wish happy birthday to Eric Clapton, who turns 81 today. Known as one of the greatest guitarists in rock history, Clapton is the only three-time inductee into the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame. He went in for his work in Cream and the Yardbirds, as well as his solo work. This is one of my favorites of Clapton from the Martin Scorsese film The Color of Money back in 1986. This is It's in the Way That You Use It.
Eric Clapton is great and probably doesn't get, when we start mentioning the great acts, your point's right. Cream was great. The Yardbirds were great. Eric Clapton is great. And by the way, he is a great guitarist. Way back in the 70s when Ted Nugent and Slash, I mean, he's a great guitarist. No question. Well done as always.
Thanks.
Hour 2's next. Stay with us.
It's the ride home with the Frangie Show. From the Harrell and Harrell studio. Don't settle for less than you deserve.
Ladies and gentlemen, it's time for the first door prize and all expense paid trip to
1010XL.
Hi, I'm Amber Frangie. By now, you've heard the story. How I heard about how much weight some of my dad's friends at the radio station lost with Awaken 180, so I wanted to try it myself. Well, the truth is, it's really incredible. I just met with my Awaken 180 coach, and I've now lost more than 150 pounds. That is a real number, not an exaggeration. Some of you may think, wow, if she lost that much, how much had she gained? Well, that's a story for another day. But what I can tell you is Awaken 180 has changed my life, and maybe saved my life. I thought I might have been at a point of no return, but with Awaken 180, you never are. There's no medications, no fad diets, just a coach you meet with weekly who you can trust, a meal plan that makes sense, and that you'll enjoy. It's honestly a miracle. If you want to lose weight, even if you have a lot of weight to lose like me, Awaken 180 truly is the way to go. If that's where you are, try Awaken 180 today.
I'm Frank Frangie, but take it from my kid. If you want to lose weight the right way, call 1-844-346-1800 or visit awaken180weightloss.com.
Game on, poker and sports fans. It's basketball time at Best Bet St. Augustine. Come join the excitement, watch all the tournament action on our big screens, and enjoy the game day specials at Aces Sports Bar. Ready to win? Play one of our exciting table games like Ultimate Texas Hold'em, 3-card poker, or Pie Gow, and claim your winnings. For more information, visit bestbetjacks.com. That's bestbetjacks.com.
See Gators basketball from the eyes of the guy who lived in the swamp. Take Time Out with Patrick Young.
Shoots and scores, and he got fouled.
Friday morning at 8:30 on The Drill with Dan and Jeff. Tipped off by Southeast Orthopedic Specialists and Kuhn Flowers.
Northeast Florida isn't just where we work, it's our home. I'm Chris Campione, and when an accident turns your life upside down, you need a law firm that truly understands this community. At Campione Law, we treat our clients like neighbors, not case numbers, and you don't pay a dime unless we recover for you. From semi-truck accidents to medical malpractice and even workers' compensation, we handle it all. Visit CampioneLaw.com. Offices, Jacksonville and St. Augustine.
Count on Campion, Campion Law.
Lauren Brooks here, and if you're getting a tax refund this year, here's a great way to use it. Invest in new tires from Big Chief Tire. I've trusted the Parman family for years because they always take care of my car like it's their own. New tires make your ride safer and more reliable, and that's worth every penny. Schedule the best service in town at WeKeepJacksRollin.com or call 904-932-0950 and put your refund to work.
The flagship station of the Jaguars. WJXL AM Jacksonville Beach. WJXL FM Jacksonville Beach.
When you're hungry, go big, and more importantly, go to Dailies, where they got anything and everything to tantalize your taste buds and fill you up. At Dailies, our barbecue beef brisket sandwich is slow smoked to perfection, tender, juicy, and full of bold flavor. It's the kind of sandwich that truly satisfies. Try the barbecue brisket sandwich at Dailies. Meanwhile, some favorites never go out of style. The Duval sub at Dailies is stacked, loaded, and made with the bold flavor you want in every bite. Fresh ingredients, big taste. It's a local favorite. Grab the Duval sub today at Dailies. Or maybe you just want a delicious chicken sandwich. Some choices just work. The chicken sandwich at Dailies is crispy on the outside, it's juicy on the inside, and it is full of flavor. Perfect for lunch, perfect for dinner, perfect anytime hunger hits. So grab the chicken sandwich today at Dailies. Dailies is made fresh, it's made local, and Dailies is built for big appetites. I'll see you there today.
RJ Saunders here, sports fans, and whether it's get well roses or a be happy situation, I always call the experts at Uconn Flowers. Sending a floral arrangement is just so easy. Log on to UConnFlowers.com and leave it to them. Uconn Flowers is the only name you'll ever need to know.
Hey, David again with Royal Pest Services. Termites, chinch bugs, roaches. It's their time of year to shine. Preventative maintenance is a heck of a lot cheaper than treating an active infestation. Visit RoyalPestServices.com to schedule your free estimate.
I'm Max Fink with your 1010XL Southeast Orthopedic Specialist, local sports update. The Florida Gators headed to Fayetteville, Arkansas this weekend, where they swept fourth-ranked Arkansas Razorbacks, closing out the series yesterday with a 7-6 win. Gary Woodland won the Houston Open yesterday, a dramatic feat after going through brain surgery for a tumor in 2023. Woodland returned to the winner's circle for the first time in 7 years. It's 76 degrees at 5 o'clock time and temp, brought to you by Beulah Air and Plumbing. Stay cooler with Bueller.
1010XL, presented by Farah and Farah, exclusive injury law firm of the Jacksonville Jaguars. Focused, fueled, fearless, Farah.
It's a Best Bet Monday on The Frangie Show with fantastic locations in Jacksonville, Orange Park, and St. Augustine. It's Best Bet.
Let's get weekend winnings at all Best Bet locations every Friday and Saturday from noon until midnight. $500 high hands the first 30 minutes and $1,000 high hands the second 30 minutes. Man, that's good stuff on the weekends. 3 great locations. Best Bet St. Augustine is just off I-95. Best Bet Orange Park is on US 17. And, of course, Best Bet Jacksonville here on Monument Road. Head to the Best Bet, always a Best Bet Monday around here. Anton Harrison will play on the 5th-year option. Any surprise there for you? He's a first-round draft pick.
Yeah, that's an easy call. I think it was Ryan O'Halloran that reported that, who's out at the owners' meetings for the TU. But, yeah, I mean, why would you not do that? I mean, Anton Harrison has been I'd say a good player. Still, I think there's the potential for more. But certainly he's been, far from a disappointment. And really to not pick up – you're going to pick up the 5th-year option unless it's been just a colossal disappointment, particularly at that point in the draft, because the price, it's not like he's a top 5 pick. I mean, he was drafted late 20s, I think. No, that's the right move for the Jaguars and gives them a little bit more of a runway to get a deal done with Harrison, who I fully expect to sign a second contract here.
I believed all along he would one day be their left tackle. I'm not sure now because they really loved what Cole Van Lannon did. I was pretty convinced all along that in the second year of the Liam Cohen era that they'd move him to left tackle and that either Walker Little or Cole Van Lannon, whoever won that job, would be the right tackle. I'm not sure now. I think Cole Van Lannon's their left tackle. I think that's how they're going to go if they can keep him healthy. He's been a phenomenal success story, and I think Anton stays at right tackle, so we'll see what happens. Other news in the NFL is that the NFL is now really worried about not being able to come to terms with its officials, so they're planning now fill-in officials, a lot of the college guys. That hasn't happened since 2012, and it was a disaster when it did. Here's what I'll tell you. It's different now. I respect officials, and I hope they get the deal done, and I think they will. But I'll tell you one thing I think you might see, Hayes, and I will applaud this. If you have to use replacement officials, even if it means tweaking the rules a bit, I'll bet you see replay more than you've ever seen. And I think you see video assist. Is that what they call it now? Video assist? I think you see that more than I think the rules are adjusted, that if a young or new replacement official misses one, you immediately go to video assist and they fix it. Again, it was a different world 12 years ago. I now think, again, you want your regular officials to be there. But if you don't have them, I think you mitigate that a great deal by using video, maybe more than ever before. And maybe you set a precedent that even when they come back, if it comes to that, you use it more than ever before.
That's what I would do. I think now they've gotten to the point where, this is what is frustrating about college basketball, how often they have to look at something. But in the NFL, in football, and maybe it's the difference in the sports, in fairness, but it does seem like a lot of football calls can be figured out in literally 3 seconds. And so I would totally be in favor of more video replay being utilized, particularly when you're dealing with guys that have never officiated at this level. It does move faster. It's much more difficult than any level that they will have officiated at prior. So yes, I would definitely welcome more of a safety net, but I would hope it would lead towards, once you do get your regular officials back and the labor grievance is solved, that you keep it. I don't think it weighs down the game, and you need to get it right. Now, again, it should be a very simple rule. Look at it 2 times, 2 different angles, or look at what angles you have. But literally, you should have it. If you don't have it with after 15 seconds, just keep it the way it was called.
Yeah, and that's what they've done with the ABS, by the way. I'll stand corrected. It hadn't bothered me at all. I thought I wouldn't like it. It's been okay.
Only one time this weekend. I must have watched 1,000 baseball innings this weekend. But there was one particular inning when Salvador Perez, who, if you don't know him, he's been a catcher in the bigs for 20 years. This is the most veteran of veteran catchers, right? There was a sequence during the Braves game on Saturday where I think it was 3 times in a row in one inning, just kept calling the ump on his BS.
Yeah.
And it was because until you get it wrong, you keep getting them back.
You get
and
2.
It was dang, this could go on for a long time if he's really good at it. We're going to see which catchers are good and which ones are bad. And then the players haven't really figured out when I should use it.
Well, that's right. I've
4
seen
batters into the game, the Braves lost both of their challenges on Saturday.
And I saw the
stupid.
And I saw the Pirates twice not challenged when they should have,
right?
Because they were reluctant to use it.
And
but
it screws them later.
so maybe they'll figure out how many to offer and how many not.
Well, in the NFL, they already do that.
Yeah.
I wouldn't call them challenges because they're not, or reviews, but they have Big Brother up there, who's already talking to these guys in their ear, telling them to switch calls up. We saw that a lot last season. So I would expect if they're backup refs, Big Brother's going to be in their ear the whole game telling them what calls to
And I'm
make.
totally okay with that.
Yeah.
Really, right. All right. The Tiger Woods story is quieted a little bit, but it was a big news last week. He was arrested on DUI when he flipped his automobile. What does that mean? Is there always the option of a urinalysis? Brett Hastings is going to join us quickly now after the break for a very quick little sports and court. Stay with us.
The Frangie Show from the Harold and Harold studio. Don't settle for less than you deserve.
Defense in Duval.
Another pick for that Jags terrific secondary.
10-10 XL.
Roll knocked out of there, and the Jags have it.
Home of the Jaguars.
What if the next roof you put on your home was the last one? Not another replacement in 15 or 20 years, the last roof. Metlock Roofing is Florida's only manufacturer and installer of this exclusive roofing system. Engineered for strength, built for Florida weather, backed by a lifetime warranty. Imagine never needing another roof. Call 938-9933 or visit metlokroofing.com. Get your last roof today with Metlock. License number CCC 1335581.
Frank Frangie here. These days, it's hard to know which companies to trust. But when it comes to banking, I trust South State Bank. South State truly values its customers, and they work hard to create meaningful, lasting relationships. I love going into my local branch. I see the same smiling faces I've seen for years. South State is the largest bank headquartered in Florida, so they're able to offer all the banking services you need. You can trust South State Bank. Banking forward. Member FDIC. Equal housing lender.
Sent in, and Sporting Jacks breaks through first.
For the latest on Jacksonville's pro soccer teams, join the Sporting Jacks Coaches Show, presented by Honda of the Avenues, every Tuesday night at 6 on 1010 AM and 1010XL.com.
Catch Gators baseball all season long on 1010 XL. Pitched by the personal injury attorneys of Farah and Farah, Randy Marion Cadillac of Jacksonville, and Renewal by Anderson Custom Windows and Doors.
Bueller.
Bueller. Stay cooler with Bueller.
Hey, pal.
Stand back, Jason. I'm gonna
Sneeze? Yeah, I saw that coming.
It's all this spring pollen, Jason. It's outside and it's inside my house, and I just can't stop. I can't stop.
Sneezing? Okay, let me help you with that.
How can you help?
At Bueller Air and Plumbing, we can improve your indoor air quality with air purifiers, UV lights, and filtration systems. Every new system we install includes high-efficiency 4-inch filters that work better and last longer, even if you forget to change them.
Wow, that's amazing. That's amazing.
Life can get pretty dusty sometimes. If you spend all day, you could miss it.
Stay cooler with Bueller.
Visit BuellerAir.com.
Looking for golf that doesn't feel like golf? Welcome to Pine Royale, Callahan's new golf entertainment destination. Play a 9-hole par 3 course, compete in Trackman-powered driving bays, and get ready for all-new 18-hole mini golf coming soon. As the sun goes down, the course lights up. Add in great food, a full bar, and space to hang with the whole crew, and suddenly golf feels a whole lot more social. Search Pine Royale Callahan and come play today.
Make Capital Glass and Shower Doors your premier choice for top-quality glass solutions. With over 40 years of expertise, their team specializes in commercial and residential projects. From elegant shower doors to modern frameless enclosures, they've got you covered. But that's not all. They also offer glass railing systems, glass wine cabinets, and much more. For unmatched quality and service, choose Capital Glass and Shower Doors. Your vision, their expertise. Visit online at capcoglass.com.
Want to show off that backyard flex? Purple Heart Pools, a veteran-owned pool company right here in Jacksonville, is offering a brand new custom pool and spa package for a flat $75,000. All in, no bait, no switch. You heard that right. Only $75,000 for a custom pool and spa. Now's the time to break ground. Game days, summer nights, and neighborhood envy included. Schedule a free consultation today at purpleheartpools.com. Purple Heart Pools, Jacksonville's veteran pool company.
With 50 years of fabrication expertise and towing products, the family at Cannons of Jacksonville can repair or install precisely what you need to tow with confidence. Visit cannonsofjacks.com, where quality and customer satisfaction collide.
1010XL, presented by Farah and Farah, exclusive injury law firm of the Jacksonville Jaguars. Still, present, ready. Farah doesn't flinch.
Now time for Sports and Courts, legal issues in the sports world with Brett Hastings from the Hastings Injury Law Firm. Hit back with Hastings.
All right, our friend Brett Hastings joins us. A very special edition. We'll go quickly here because we're tying him up on a Monday. But, Brett, thank you for this. We tried to track you down. It was too late on the Tiger Woods thing. That happened late on Friday. But to kind of reboot it for people that weren't following it, Tiger Woods flipped his car going really fast. Banged into a pressure washing truck and trailer, was given a breathalyzer, but he blew zeros, but then refused to submit to a urinalysis, which indicates that it was probably some sort of a drug thing. What do you make of the story? And tell me, is a urinalysis always available for policemen and for the police to check a driver?
No. So here's what's unique here, right? They just charge this as a DUI property damage. If you were to hurt somebody and there's serious bodily injury, they can actually take your blood and you can't refuse in that situation. All the reports are that nobody was hurt, in this case.
Right.
But what happens is once you do refuse to take the test, you lose your license for 6 months administratively. Because there's a criminal case and there's an administrative case with the Department of Motor Vehicles, all right? And so when you do this, it makes it a lot harder for the state to prove the case. But the state then is allowed to have a specific instruction that says essentially you can take the evidence that the person refused as consciousness of guilt. And the prosecutors are allowed to argue that, if it were to proceed to trial. So administratively, he's going to have to fight with the DMV. If that happens, a lot of times you get a 6-month suspension. You would then have to go and petition to try to get a hardship license so you could drive to and from work. But here's the best bit of legal advice anybody can get. If you're a billionaire, just have somebody drive you around.
Right. And we talked about that quickly, Brett. So how much does his past poor decisions and the fact that he's done this before more than once, how much does that factor into how he will be adjudicated here?
So what's interesting is, it'll be an issue to the state. If he were to proceed to trial, they would most likely never find out about any of it. And so we can recap. He's had a prior case where there was a DUI arrest, and that ended up being not a DUI. He wasn't convicted. That was a reckless driving charge, right? And then he had a really bad other accident, but there weren't any criminal charges or anything that came out of that. What I think, and talking to people, and people were asking me questions, the thing that kind of shocked a lot of people is they said, hey, we knew he had been in a bad crash. What if he's taking medicine, right? Pain medication that is properly prescribed by a physician. Can you be DUI then? And yes, you can be DUI. The standard is you're not allowed to drive to the extent that your normal faculties are impaired, and the law defines normal faculties as the ability to walk, talk, all of those types of things. And so, if you have a lawful prescription medication, but it makes you so that your normal faculties are impaired and you don't know what's going on, then you go out and drive, then you can be convicted, in fact, a DUI. In these types of cases, once there's property damage or somebody ends up getting hurt, then it, kind of slides to the state. It's a little bit easier to prosecute. If you refuse the urinalysis and you have a lawful prescription and there isn't property damage or anything else, those are really hard cases for the state to get a conviction in.
So what do you think happens now?
A probationary disposition. Kind of the worst thing that I would see him pleading to would be a DUI. He wouldn't do another minute in jail. He'd have to enroll in and complete an alcohol safety education course where they go and kind of check into his substance abuse. A counselor will, figure out whether or not he does have substance problems, and they'd ask that he follow through those things. And once he completed the conditions, he'd be able to terminate the probation. The longest I'd see him being on probation would be for 6 months. Haven't had the benefit of being able to read the arrest and booking report, but, I think the worst case scenario here, he's going to plead to a DUI, not spend another day. And then, I think, there's probably a chance for him to get back another reckless driving, potentially.
I guess my question would be, final thing here, Brett. I guess my question would be, look, if he's on meds and medications because of the things he's had happen from an injury standpoint, he has to be on them. That's one thing. But apparently he was driving like out of control, speeding in a neighborhood. That's a choice, isn't it? And I mean, that's not just right. I mean, I guess
100%.
I guess my question is, and I'm not anti-Tiger. I like Tiger. I think Tiger's great for the tour, and it makes me sad to see him go through this. But I guess my sense is, Brett, that at some point you have to send a message that it's not okay. And I don't get the sense that anything legally is going to happen that will send that message. Agree or disagree?
Totally agree. I think the state's going to be entrenched in this. I don't see Tiger being someone, maybe he will say, hey, I'll just plead to the DUI and get it over with. The media reports, man, they're challenging stuff already on the administrative case. It appears that they're really going to try to fight this. And the driving pattern and those things is also, and, this is what the state would argue, is really, convincing evidence, right, of that impairment, right? That goes to that, those bad decisions. That's what alcohol makes us happen. That's the same thing that we have with pain medication. The thing that I think everybody should realize, too, is that if you're convicted of a DUI, in a personal injury or civil case, and I have a number of victims that I represent right now who were hit by, drunk drivers, is that allows for punitive damages. So then it's not just your injuries, your pain and suffering or whatever. You can then be susceptible to punitive damages. Those are solely to punish. Those are based and in conformity. There are some new caps, but those are in conformity with the amount of money and other stuff you have. So something like this could also end up, here it appears there aren't injuries, but if you had injured somebody or what have you, also cost tens of millions of dollars as well.
It's going to be interesting to see. All right, Brett Hastings from the Hastings Injury Law Firm. Again, sorry to have to bring you in on a Monday, Brett, but it's a story that people have been talking about for a while. We appreciate it, buddy. Take care, man.
You got it. Take care.
All right, Brett Hastings from the Hastings Injury Law Firm. Here, let me tell you my thought on this. Tiger Woods is so public, and because he is so public, this case was so public. At some point, we need Tiger to get behind a mic and say, I got a problem and I'm going to fix this. I got to stop this. There's been too many of these that have involved me, and I'm going to make a commitment right now, whether you believe me or not, that I'm getting the help I need. If it's an addiction issue, if it's choices, he's a public guy. He's about as public as you can get now. I think I'm not sitting here rooting for Tiger Woods to go to jail. I don't want to see that. Nobody wants to see a guy you root for go to jail. But it can't just be the legal system brushes this under the rug and it goes from DUI to reckless driving and he gets probation, which is what Brett's right. That's what we all expect, even without the lawyer telling us that. That's what we all expect. And then it just kind of goes away. Listen, you make a mistake one time, a second time, but if this is your habit and this is your pattern, say something to where you acknowledge that, to where you acknowledge it's a problem, and to where you're going to do whatever it takes to get it fixed. I guess I know those are just words and words are cheap, but I'd prefer that to no words.
Well, I think you're going to get no words. I'll be surprised if he shows really any kind of contrition at all. And so we'll see. I mean, who's really, it's hard to say when he'll talk again. I mean, I guess there's still, he's technically still in the field for the Masters. So, is he going to try to play at Augusta National? If he does, then obviously he's going to have a press conference leading into that event. But I don't think it's just not how he's ever been. And I think it's a mistake. I think particularly in light of this now being behavior that's been repeated, I think he would do a lot of good to be open and honest about what he is going through and take a hard, reflective look at behaviors that have to change. But there's no chance he's going to do that because I think there's still with Tiger Woods an element of I'm Tiger Woods and you're not, and I don't have to explain myself to you.
Yeah, he's a very private guy.
Yeah,
they even said on TMZ today that he's not going to hire a driver because of privacy concerns.
Yeah,
which to me means so what do you got going on in your personal life still that you don't need anybody to know about?
And I think Hayes hit it. I think part of it's private, part of it's entitled, and I can get away with it. And I just, again, I'm not rooting against the guy, but listen, everybody. One of the reasons golf blew up is a lot of young people looked up to him because he was this great player who also was hip and cool. And well, those young people are still looking up. Maybe they're older now, right? But I just.
Or how about your own son who just started college?
Correct.
Man?
It's a great point. Your own son who's a very good golfer. And at some point, it can't just, again, people make mistakes. Okay. People, I know a lot of people, if you had a DUI for the first time, listen, I made a mistake. I had a few. I shouldn't have done that, and it won't happen again. That's different, and I could give you a list of people that fall into that category. But this doesn't look like that, Hayes. This looks like a guy that doesn't give a damn. That's what it looks like, and I don't know. I just think at some point when whether you want to be a role model or not, you are. And hey, JJ makes a great point to your own family, to your own children, certainly your own son. You're right, though. It's hard for me to think I'm getting words, right? I guess your point was, I don't know. It bothers me. What bothers me is that he was driving so fast and flying through that neighborhood.
In the middle of the afternoon?
Yeah, I mean, so that, is it, did he make a bad choice to drive that fast because he was high? Or was he just moderately impaired and he drove that fast, Hayes, because he can get away with it? See my point? That's my question.
Yeah, I mean, and I think it's all fair. And again, the fact that it's happened before, and if this report is accurate that he's not going to hire a driver, then he's the biggest moron in America.
Right.
I mean, how many more, because if it ever happens again and he does kill somebody, he's going to get the book thrown at him.
Yeah.
And he should get the book thrown at him. And the celebrity won't matter then, because the public outcry will be so loud that he will have to suffer repercussions. So again, who knows if the TMZ report is accurate? But if shame on Tiger Woods if he doesn't have a driver, particularly if he can't get whatever this is under control.
Yeah.
I mean, obviously he's on something. You wouldn't refuse.
Right,
I wouldn't
that's right.
imagine.
Yeah.
You wouldn't refuse the
And the police
urine
officer
test.
wouldn't just suspect you of
Yeah.
being under the influence.
Right.
Like if you're
Well-
Tiger Woods, especially, they're
Yeah.
probably going out of their way to hope that you're not. You
Well,
know?
and I can tell you if he wasn't driving over the speed limit, if he just had an accident and said, listen, I wasn't impaired, I wasn't speeding, I had an accident, but if I do the urinalysis, you're going to see these
what I'm prescribed to take.
these prescription drugs on there, so it's going to indicate that I did something badly when I really didn't. That's a reasonable answer. But it's trumped by the fact that he was flying 70 miles an hour in a neighborhood. That's where I am on
And
this.
that the officer on the scene suspected that he was under the influence.
Correct. And I again, so anyway, it'll be an interesting case to continue to follow. We'll take a break. More in a moment. Stay with us.
The Frangie Show from the Harold and Harold studio. Don't settle for less than you deserve.
Let's take a look inside 1010XL.
Who wants the Grand Tour? That would be terrific. That would be great.
We have the drill in the morning.
Very amusing.
Jaguars today from 10 to noon.
Good.
XL primetime noon to 2.
Yes.
Helmets and heels in the Frangie Show afternoons.
Hey, this is great.
Then Baloo and Hacker take you into the night.
All in one location.
1010XL.
Picken here. See clearly with the eye associates and trusted optometrists Zachary Boskool and Alice LaFlamme. From comprehensive eye exams, dry eye care, glaucoma management, diabetic eye care, and more, Dr. Boskool and Dr. LaFlamme are dedicated to protecting your vision. Immediate availability at all 5 Jacksonville locations. Schedule today with Dr. Boskool and Dr. LaFlamme by calling the Eye Associates, formerly Bow 9 Associates, Schneider Eye and Wellness Center, and Janet Betchkel, MD at 296-0098.
Instant Keys is turning 25, a quarter century of saving the day when your keys mysteriously vanish.
Seriously, it was just in my pocket.
Or when that remote fob decides to quit working.
The dealership is such a hassle.
For 25 years, Instant Keys has been the go-to locksmith service for car keys, house keys, transponders, re-keys, and even high-tech smart locks. You don't have to go to the dealer. Instant Keys comes to you for honest, professional locksmith service. Use Instant Keys.
Frank Frangie here from my friend and insurance agent, Craig Dewhurst. Craig has been helping families on the First Coast with their insurance needs for 25 years as your good neighbor and local State Farm agent. Now's a great time to review your insurance policies, whether you need auto, homeowners, or renter's insurance, or insurance for your golf cart, boat, or jet skis. Craig handles all of my family's insurance needs, and even better, he gives back to the community. Call Craig today at 904-940-9740. That's 904-940-9740.
This is Mark Nato. My son Justin injured his hand playing baseball for JU. Southeast orthopedic specialist performed surgery just a few days later, and within 5 weeks, he was cleared to play in the ASUN baseball tournament. Our family has trusted Southeast orthopedic specialists for years. For any orthopedic injury, let Southeast orthopedic specialists take care of you too.
Relieve pain and get back to life. Southeast Orthopedic Specialists.
Northeast Florida's highest-rated residential home electrical contractor is American Electrical, providing unsurpassed quality in Duval, St. Johns, Clay, and Nassau counties. No matter your electrical problem or project, large or small, American Electrical will get it done at a price that's right. High-quality electrician, that's who they are. Trusted company that's been on the First Coast for decades, proudly serving the community while being a big part of the community. Call American Electrical for all your electric needs at 737-7770. Wired right at a fair price.
Jacksonville, get ready. April 6th, the Florida Theater presents Leonid and Friends. This 11-piece band brings the sound of Chicago to life. Horns, vocals, all the energy. Hear favorites from Chicago, Earth, Wind and Fire, Stevie Wonder, and more. one night only, April 6th. Get your tickets now at floridatheater.com.
I used to dread going to the dentist. Every visit felt like a sales pitch with constant upselling, surprise fees on my bill, and I could never get in when I needed to. But Harbor Dental Care? Totally different. They saw me the next day, gave me honest pricing up front, and even set me up with a payment plan I could actually afford. No pressure, no surprise charges, just kind people who get it. If you want to experience dentistry the way it should be, book your appointment today at harbordental.care. That's HARBOUR dental.care.
1010XL, presented by Farah and Farah, exclusive injury law firm of the Jacksonville Jaguars. Still, present, ready. Farah doesn't flinch. Now, the Monahan's golden moment. Monahan Jewelers in Atlantic Beach, your local family jewelers.
The golden moment today was an opportunity to talk all about college basketball. What a Final Four we have. It's going to be a good one. Uconn and Illinois in the lid lifter, Michigan and Arizona in what could be the championship game in the second semifinal. It was fun talking about it. The golden moment was talking about how much fun we're going to have next Saturday in the Final Four.
10-10
Take.
10-10 Take is brought to you by Duck Duck Rooter, plumbing, septic, and air conditioning. When you're stuck, call the Duck, duckduckrooter.com. Speaking of that Final Four, I'll say it again. Duke is a wonderful basketball team. I said it at the top. They know how to play. They're 35-3. Of their 3 losses, they had a 10-point lead in all of those. In the 3 losses, they've lost by a total of 5 points, 2 on buzzer beaters, 1 on a 1-point loss. They're that good. But they've got so many young players. They don't have veterans handling the ball late that because of their youthfulness, they're apt to make a mistake late because they just haven't been in that setting very often. I think that's why they got eliminated last year in the Final Four after leading Houston by 14 points very late and 9 very, very late, and after leading Uconn yesterday as well. You have to have great players, and Duke has that. But you have to have some veteran-savvy players who have been there, and Duke is not. And I think that's what got them knocked out, Hayes, and that's the 10-10 take.
Yeah, it's a very good one. And again, the last team that Duke probably needed to see. This is why when the bracket came out, we talked about what a tough road it was going to be for Duke. Because if it hadn't been UConn, it would have been Sparty. And Izzo and his club could have absolutely done the same thing to Duke. Duke is going to struggle. Young teams in general are going to struggle against teams that are older and want to turn a game into a street fight, which is what UConn and Michigan State do. And UConn obviously beat Michigan State, earned the right to take on Duke. Frankly, I was surprised. St. John's had Duke.
Right.
Had Duke. And then Pitino, for some unknown reason, elected not to play the hottest player that he had in Ruben Prey for the entire second half after the kid had 12 points in 13 minutes and brought them incredible energy. But yeah, I mean, Duke is obviously got an incredible program and can get any recruit they want, but they probably need to adjust the roster construction a little bit to make some room for some older player. I mean, Duke could get anybody they wanted out of the portal. I mean, Duke's going to get who they want. It's just a question of, do you want a roster littered with 5-star freshmen or that are going to be lottery picks for the most part, or do you want a more seasoned team? I would say split the difference, because right now it's too tilted towards the one and done player that, just while, you know, they're fantastic from a trait standpoint, you have to worry about how they're going to handle the pressure of the NCAA tournament and handle the savvy and moxie that the opponent is going to have, that has the 21 and 22 year, and even in some cases, to your point, older than that, athletes on their side.
You know something, Hayes? You said what the problem is. You said it in what you just said, the first sentence you said. Duke can get who they want, and that's probably the problem. There's not many teams in any sport, football, basketball, whatever, that are going to turn away the 5-stars if they can get them. Well, Duke can get them. Well, if you start loading up on them, though, you feel the tendency to play them. So to your point, do you take fewer of the 5-stars, even though you can get all of them, and work harder on going and getting some of the portal guys? That's the question. And by the way, to be good and veteran, you pretty much have to get portal guys, because Alex Caravan's an exception. There's some exceptions. But for the most part, if you're there 4 years, you're not as good as the portal guy. Because if you're there 4 years, why didn't you go to the NBA or why didn't you leave early? So if you're there, if Duke has a guy there 4 or 5 years, or Kentucky does, they probably missed on him a little. So you're almost better off getting the portal guy because there's a reason the portal guy's still in college. Nobody's seen him, right? There's a reason for that. So it'll be very interesting to see.
And we know in recruiting, this has existed in the annals of recruiting since people started paying attention to it. We don't get them right. I mean, even in high school football recruiting, there's plenty of guys that are 5 stars that can't play a lick in college football. And it's the same in basketball. So the portal unlocks the kid that was under-recruited for whatever reason, didn't make it to the right camp, wasn't seen in the showcase, but shows up at Toledo and hits 40% of his threes. And, wow, this guy can really play basketball. And, for whatever reason, the big schools and the recruiting services missed on him. But that's the guy that you go get. And again, ideally somebody that does have 2 or 3 years of eligibility left and somebody that you can kind of start to build with, but it's, I'll say this, like if Florida was losing everybody, let's say like how in Condon and Chinelu go pro and Fland was transferring and Lee's a senior and Han Logden is a senior. So we'll see if he gets his waiver. But if Florida was like basically starting from scratch with the roster, I wouldn't want him to sign a bunch of top 25 in the country freshmen.
Yeah.
I would rather have guys that have played college basketball and know what they're doing that can come in and be great immediately.
Well, and in they already have the template. They won a title by doing that. I mean, they went and got a guy from FAU, Belmont, Iona, Washington State, and Marshall, and won a national title. By the way, Alex Lloyd today announced he's coming back.
Really? That surprises me.
Well, so he announced he's coming back with the Florida Victorious thing. We know.
I know this is your new favorite thing in all of sports.
Yeah, the
people announcing.
It's amazing. Yeah, and I'm going to listen. I'm going to announce that I'm going to do the show tomorrow. I made that announcement. So, so he announces he's back. Both Browns announced they were back. Boogie Fland announced he's back. Here's what it does tell me: the one guy that I was kind of excited about, I'm wondering if C.J. Ingram is going to leave because he's the one that I think pretty good. I mean, listen. Chinelu and Condon aren't going and Houck aren't going to the portal. They're probably going to go to the NBA or they're going to come back. But there's no portal. The portal question guys were the Browns and Fland and they're all coming back. So I wonder if that means C.J. Ingram's not.
That's interesting.
He's the one guy. He's a legacy.
Right.
But he's the one guy that hasn't announced.
I wouldn't take it like that means that he's not coming back. I am surprised. I'm more surprised that Florida wants Lloyd back. Than Lloyd wanting to return. Every chance they gave him to play, he was terrible. So we'll see. Maybe with an off season, they still believe in the player that they recruited,
and maybe they're not paying him very much.
Yeah, I can't imagine that. Yeah, he's getting much, but so I wouldn't take it necessarily as that Ingram, isn't in the plan to come back. But that's the thing with the portal. It's interesting because you're looking at it from the traditional standpoint of player goes into the portal to get a much bigger role at a different school.
Right.
I still think there is a chance that Condon, Chinelu could go in the portal, not for that reason, but if Texas Tech pays you $5.5 million and Florida is willing to give you $2.5 million,
Denzel Aberdeen.
Yeah, then I think you have to, think about that.
Part of me
so it may not be leaving to go to the NBA, but it may be leaving for a gigantic raise.
That would surprise me. I just think those guys together have created so much at Florida, and Florida understanding that won't get outbid on them. But I was surprised by Aberdeen too. They just won a national title. He was on the floor at the end of a national,
and was clearly going to be the top returning guard.
Yeah. He scored the last point for Florida in their national championship season, and then because he gets double the money. So you're right, could happen. We'll see. We'll take a break. We'll wrap the program after this.
It's the ride home with the Frangie Show from the Harrell and Harrell studio. Don't settle for less than you deserve.
Streaming live from the XL Digital Studios. Polished by Harbor Dental Care, the locally owned smile restoration experts.
This is Brent Musburger's Visa in Action update on 1010XL. Brought to you by Duck Duck Rooter Plumbing, Septic, and Air Conditioning. When you're stuck, call the Duck. Proud partner of the Jacksonville Jaguars.
Early lines in the men's NCAA basketball tournament set for Indianapolis this weekend. Saturday, the Uconn Huskies will go up against Illinois. They're Fighting Illini, a 2.5-point favorite, minus 134 on the money line. Uconn coming off their win against Duke on Sunday, plus 112. The over-under at 139.5. Second game featuring a battle of number one seeds as Arizona takes on Michigan. The Wolverines a 1.5-point favorite over the Wildcats, minus 122. Arizona plus 104. The over-under 157.5. Michigan is the betting favorite to win the national championship. The Wolverines are plus 150. Right behind them is Arizona at plus 180.
Progressive helping veterans drive their lives forward. More info, keystoprogress.com.
I'm Tony Desiri with your VSiN Action Update on 1010 XL.
Frank Frangie here. Truck Month is back at Nimnick Chevrolet. Bigger and better than ever. Now, Nimnick is offering supplier pricing for everyone on those new Chevy Silverados. That's right, the same pricing normally reserved for GM supplier companies, now open to the public. You haven't seen deals like this since before COVID. Trust me. Now, I've been buying my cars and trucks from Nimnick forever. So when they say they've got the largest Silverado inventory in the region, I can tell you your dream truck is waiting for you at Nimnick. But hurry, supplier pricing ends before March 31st. The best place to go and get cars, trucks, SUVs, I promise you, is Nimnick. I've been doing it forever, and I really have. Visit NimnickChevy.com or to the dealership at the corner of Park Street and Castle. You'll be awfully glad you did. An awful lot of nice people selling you the best products on the market. So who does a better job selling Silverados and more? Nobody but Nimnick. Head there today, won't you? Chevrolet. Together, let's drive.
Jimerson Burr is a full-service, Florida-based commercial law firm that has experience and capabilities to handle any legal issue a business is confronted with. Learn more about what they can do for you at jimersonfirm.com.
Rotator cuff injuries are common among athletes and those who have physically demanding careers. Don't let this injury keep you away from the sport you love. Dr. George Bari here, and the first thing you need to do with a serious shoulder injury is to diagnose where the damage is and how significant it is. Rotator cuff tears are either acute tears sustained during an injury or accident, or degenerative tears. If you're interested in learning more about rotator cuff repair and how our expert team of orthopedic surgeons can help you, call Bari Orthopedics today or visit bariorthopedics.com.
Ready to dance? Right now on Hard Rock Bet, new customers get paid double winnings on your first 10 bets. And we'll keep you dancing all tourney with 2 profit boosts for every day of hoops. That's right. All customers can get a parlay profit boost and a live bet profit boost from now till they cut down the nets. Double winnings, daily dancing boosts, only on Hard Rock Bet.
Offered by the Seminole Tribe of Florida, must be 21 plus and physically present in Florida to wager. Terms and conditions apply. Concerned about your gambling? Call or text 1-833-PLAY-WISE.
Rick Ballou here with a congratulations for John's Auto. They've been in business in Jacksonville for 40 years. That's right, going all the way back to 1985. Right now, they'd like to thank each and every one of you who's ever gotten their vehicle serviced at John's Auto. So, car, truck, or diesel, all makes, all models. Whether it's a routine maintenance or a complete engine overhaul, go to John's Auto on Arlington Road, johnautomotivejacks.com.
Here's hoping for a Raise the Roof football season. And here's knowing Next Gen Roofing is up for any job. Game day or storm season, you need a team you can trust. And you know what? You don't need a glitzy roofing company. No shortcuts, no gimmicks, no nonsense. Solid roofs at competitive prices and a commitment to the First Coast community. Right now, save up to $300 on your next roof replacement. When you need a roof, you need Next Gen Roofing. Team with you, it's a win every time.
Liberty Landscape Supply is sponsoring Whiteout Cancer Night with the Jacksonville Icemen, Friday, April 3rd. Wear your Icemen gear in store and grab free game tickets while supplies last. Bring your ticket back with any $25 purchase and get a free 1-gallon plant. Liberty Landscape Supply has been making outdoor projects simple in Jacksonville for nearly 20 years. Find one of the 4 area locations at libertylandscapesupply.com.
High Flying Jacko here. When I need to send a floral arrangement, there's only one thought: Kuhn Flowers. A simple phone call or an online order, it's always easy with Kuhn. There's a reason Kuhn Flowers has been doing it for over 75 years. Online at kuhnflowers.com.
1010XL, presented by Farah and Farah, exclusive injury law firm of the Jacksonville Jaguars. Focused, fueled, fearless, Farah.
It's a Best Bet Monday on The Frangie Show with fantastic locations in Jacksonville, Orange Park, and St. Augustine. It's Best Bet.
Want to hear something funny?
Sure.
While Tennessee was losing by 30 in the NCAA basketball tournament, their baseball team, which is not far removed from a national championship with Tony Vitello, got swept by Vandy.
Wow.
I mean, what world are we in when Vandy wallops Tennessee in football, beat the hell out of them, splits with them in basketball, and it was an upset the one Tennessee won, and sweeps them in baseball
on 3 walk-offs.
Oh, wow.
3
Really?
walk-offs, all 3 walk-offs.
Wow.
I'm not saying it bothered me. I'm just pointing it out.
Yeah, it's a
Pointed out on
tough weekend
on
for Rocky
on a
Top.
Monday afternoon here on the First Coast.
Yeah.
So I need to do that.
I'd be interested to see how long Rick Barnes stays out of it. He's 71.
He said he's coming back next year.
Yeah.
By the way, that's all. Izzo's old. He's old. Kelvin Sampson's old. It's the age of the 70-plus coach. Rick was hoping they'll bring Leonard Hamilton back.
They should. That documentary was fantastic, by the way. I've never been so touched.
Let's say hello to Rick below.
Now, the 2-minute drill is driven by nobody but Nimnicht. Nimnicht Chevrolet on Cassett Avenue and Nimnicht Buick GMC on Phillips Highway.
I mean, Kelvin Sampson's over 70. Izzo's over 70. Rick Barnes over 70. I say we bring back Leonard.
Shire's not, but they played some Florida State basketball. They played some Leonard Hamilton basketball. They couldn't get the ball.
Oh, they couldn't get the ball.
Couldn't get it past half court. I mean, I'm sitting here watching them blow a 19-point lead, and I'm like, this is Leonard Hamilton basketball here.
And Rick, I will tell you the end, the shot at the end was one of the most dramatic. Every time I think we've seen the most dramatic one we'll ever see, that was Leitner, man. It felt the same way, didn't it?
Especially the fact that he gave it up.
Right.
And then he got it back.
Yeah.
And hoisted a 35-footer. I mean, you don't come from 19 down. That was just out of this world. But, I mean, look at Tobacco Road. UNC had a 19-point lead against VCU.
Oh, that's
cost
right.
Hubert Davis his job.
That's right.
And, here's Duke. I mean, I saw that if you had at least a 15-point lead, number 1 seeds, 134-0
Correct.
lifetime before that game.
Isn't that amazing? Until now.
Yeah. What a weekend. I mean, it's just been
that was an amazing. And by the way, I didn't think he was going to shoot it either because the play is to give it to Caravan, who's your senior, who just made a big one. But he was covered. Caravan gave it back to him. I mean, it was. If you look at how it ended, it was amazing.
Yeah.
It really made it so. Anyway,
really the pinnacle of the weekend, and just one great thing after another. I think we've really been blessed as sports fans. It just feels like, so many stories just keep piling on top of one another. I mean, it doesn't matter what the sport is. I still can't get over the emergence of these young baseball players. I mean, the Red Sox are 1-2, and I really don't even care. I'm just enjoying this game so much because, I mean, imagine growing up in New York and having Duke Snyder, Willie Mays, and Mickey Mantle in your outfield when Brooklyn was there and the New York Giants were there. I just watch all these young guys play, and I'm like, this is such a great era. If you're a young kid and you love the game, seeing all these 21, 22-year-olds, particularly playing shortstop, it's a blast.
And teams are pulling them up early.
Oh, it's fun to watch.
They're not making them have their 3 or 4 years in the minors to Super 2 and to save the money. So you're exactly right. What's coming up?
All right, we got hoops. We got the latest from the owners' meetings. Got a little something on the Jags. Got a couple of other surprises as well. So let's go. It's going to be a fun week right here on the home of the Jags.
All right. Rick Beluga's into the night. That comes up right now. We'll see you back here tomorrow. Same bad time, same bad channel. For Hayes and JJ, I'm Frank Frangie. So long.
The Frangie Show from the Harrell and Harrell studio. Don't settle for less than you deserve.
You don't want to do that. Oh, but I do. Where fun and games are serious business. What are you prepared to do? He's crazy! We gotta stop him! 1010XL.
Alert! Alert! Termite swarms are active right now in Jacksonville, and one